everyone, welcome back. This is V's Teas, this is V, and these are my slings. We're going to be doing a watering video today, so we're going to be putting some water in some of the enclosures. Most of the tarantulas are at least an inch and a half or smaller, except the Avicularia. We're going to go ahead and get started. Not all the tarantulas are going to get a whole bunch of water. I like to do putting water in a water dish and also putting a little bit of the substrate. There's a lot of arguments out there whether tarantulas need water dishes or not. My thing is, in the wild, they don't have a water dish. Yes, I understand that. They have to go find water. But my tarantulas aren't wild. They're captive bred. I'm not going to make them fight to find water. I want to make the conditions for them as perfect as I can. I don't want them to have to go thirsty, and if they want to drink out of a water dish, so be it. Some of my tarantulas have buried it, so I just go ahead and wet the substrate rather than trying to fill up the water dish, because no matter how many times I try to put a water dish in there, same thing keeps happening. So we're going to start with the green bottle blue. She is right here. So we're going to try to be a little bit careful. This one is a little, she does like to bolt out sometimes, depending on how she's feeling. I think she might be in pre-molt. I'm not sure yet. So what we're just going to do is, you can use pretty much anything to help you water them. With my bigger tarantulas, I will actually take water and I'll just pour it in. With the smaller tarantulas, I don't want to just dump the water in because that's going to be way too much water. So I just went to Hobby Lobby. I just got pipettes, and I believe these are little containers you put paint in. They have a needle nose top. That way, if the tarantula is too close to the top and I don't want to risk actually hurting it or it getting out, I will just put this through the vent holes and just spray it in there. So that's not going to put out too much water, and it's just going to get the substrate just a little wet. So I'm just going to take the pipette, and if you don't know how to use a pipette, you just squeeze it, put it in the water, and release, and it fills the pipette. And I'm sorry guys, I'm having really bad allergies right now. With it warming up and more pollen coming out, it's my allergy medicine's not working so well, so I apologize. So I just kind of drop some water in there. It will soak into the substrate. I'm not putting too much in hers just because they do like a little bit more drier, but I don't want her to be too thirsty. So I just, at the base of her webbing is where I just kind of drop it. And if she wants to come down, it doesn't soak through the webbing, so if she wants to come down and drink it off the webbing, she can. Next is the Singapore Blue. And I apologize guys, I'm really bad with trying to pronounce these scientific names. Lampropelma violaceopes. I'll try to pronounce them, but I'll try to also just put them in the comments below. That way you guys can see it. This one I'll put in the water dish, the water in the water dish. And then I also just kind of wet the substrate. I do have moss in each one of their enclosures except the, let's see, who do I have it in? Except the OBT, the Tarantulas Featured. I do not have moss in that one because that is from Africa. They like it very dry, more on the dry side. They don't like a lot of humidity. So I'm not going to put too much in this one's. Oh, I'm sorry. I recommend that if you get these display case enclosures, make sure you pop the tops a couple times. That way they aren't so hard to pop open. I just sit there for a couple minutes and open, put it closed, open, close it, open, close it. That way it won't be so hard to open when you're trying to get to your tarantula. This one I obviously didn't do it enough, so this is harder to open, and I try not to open its cage too much, that way it doesn't disturb the OBT. Same thing with this one, just in the water dish and on the substrate a little bit. But I'm not going to add as much as I would the other tarantulas, just because I don't want to make it too humid for the tarantula not to enjoy it. Or I guess they can't enjoy anything, but I want them to thrive. The Grammostola quirogai, and this one I'm pretty sure is in pre-molt. She's been he, she, it. It's too small to tell. I'm pretty sure it's in pre-molt. I haven't seen her for a while. She hasn't been eating. So we're just going to try to make it a little more moist in there. That way, if she does molt, she's not dehydrated when she's done. Some of the slings you may not see. A lot of them I found like to hide. And that is perfectly normal for slings. They feel safer underground than out in the open. This is the Chilobrachys minax, or the Thailand black. This one you may not see very often. I only see it when it's hungry. It's in that hole right in front of the corkbark. It's normally where it sits. It sticks its legs out of the hole and waits for crickets or cockroaches or whatever I'm going to feed it. This one's very quick. This is a fossorial. They do like it, I believe, a little bit more moist, a little bit more humid. So try to add more water in here more often. And again, I'm going to put water in the little water dish. I use bottle caps for this. I do see this one a lot. I fed her last night, so that's probably why we're not going to see her today. I call my tarantulas hers. I don't know what the genders are. It's just a force of habit. This one is the Chilobrachys species. It's the electric blue. This one does not come out very often. Its burrow is actually right underneath the flower. You might not be able to see it very well. I very rarely see this one as well. This one likes to stay hidden and doesn't come out unless there are unless there's food. Then I have this is going to be really hard for me to pronounce, but I'll try it, an Acanthoscurria geniculata, Brazilian giant whitening. This one I'm not going to water today. I watered it last night when I found a molt. When I see that they molted, I immediately put in some water because they can get very dehydrated after molt. So I just try to make sure they're always moist, especially if I know they've molted. Next is the Brachypelma hamorii. I don't know if you can see very well in there, but she's actually munching on a cricket right now, so I'm not going to add any water. I don't want to disturb her. I put a dead cricket in there last night, and glad to see that she's eating today. We have another A. I'm just gonna use the first letter of that. The A, geniculata, Brazilian giant whitening. This one's a lot bigger. It's right in here. It also likes to burrow. With this particular one, I just add the water to the top. It keeps burying its water dish, so I just wet the substrate. Make sure I get a little bit on the moss as well. Next is a Poecilotheria metallica, the Gooty Sapphire Ornamental. Okay, this one I believe is down at the bottom, so I'm going to leave the cap off. Here's how I have its enclosure set up. It is arboreal, so I was trying something just a little bit different. And this one, just because it is so tall, I actually just spray. I'm hoping for a molt here soon. And if you're newer to the tarantula hobby, as you go through, you'll kind of learn what you like to do best with your tarantulas, whether that's using a pipette, or a spray bottle, or the straw method. So we have the P. Erminia, Venezuelan sun tiger. Tiger, that's enclosure. I don't believe it's out today. This one, when it comes out, it's normally right back here. It's normally hidden a lot. So, normally at night, I get to see it at night. And the same thing, I just put it in the water dish, and a little bit around on the substrate. Now we have an Avicularia. I did a video on this one maybe a week or two, maybe 3 weeks ago. This is the one that my roommate had gotten for me. I was having a bad day, so I came home and found another tarantula. This one, I don't know if you can see it right here. They're very pretty. They're black with pink toes. Henceforth, the pink toe tarantula. This one I also sprayed just because it does have such a deep enclosure. This one just kind of sits here. Very pretty, and it's a very good starting tarantula. They do not kick hairs. From what I've researched, they don't kick hairs. And they normally would prefer to run rather than bite, so it's a very good tarantula. Mine is very, very calm. I've never seen a tarantula so calm before. Next, we have the Poecilotheria regalis, Indian Ornamental. This one just molted as well. Let me see if I can see it. It is... Let me see if I can turn this light on. Right down here. She kind of matches with the substrate right now. I haven't fed her yet, only because she has molted. I found the molt last night, so I'm just kind of leaving her alone. I put water in the enclosure last night because I did find that molt, so we're not gonna mess with her too much. And again, I always want to say her. It's not. I don't know if it's a her or not, but it's just a force of habit. Next, we have the Cobalt Blue, Chiropagus lividus, I believe. It got a reclassification. It used to be a Haplopelma. And I don't see it out right now, but its burrow is right here. They build like a tunnel up and out. So we're just going to add a little bit of water to this one. And just so you guys know, these enclosures is my first time using one of these little enclosures. I found that I like putting tape on one side. That way it hinges a little bit. It's easier for me to put back on and off. I don't know how everybody else feels about these enclosures, but that's a little trick that I noticed, because I had a hard time putting it back on, because every once in a while this species does like to bolt a little bit. And this one also buried its dish, so I just wet the substrate in moss. This one also will once it's hungry, come out to the top of its den and stick its front feet out and wait for prey. So it doesn't look like it's out right now, so maybe tonight. And I also do the same thing with my feeders. I will put a water dish in, and especially with my cockroaches, and I will put water in the water dish. Just because they will actually go up and drink the water out of the water dish. They won't drown. I've never had a cockroach drown in it before. But you also want to just think about your feeders. It'll last longer and save you money if you do make sure you take good care of them. With the crickets, I put water in and they haven't drowned yet. But I've heard that they will sit in the water and just drown, so I don't know about those. I don't use crickets a lot. I just use them because it's easier to squish their heads and feed them to the little ones. So whether or not you like to use a water dish or you like to just spray the substrate down, there is no right way. There's several techniques that work. So whatever works for you and your tarantulas. If not using a water dish works, then don't use a water dish. I personally just like using both methods, because if they want to use a water dish, at least it's there so that they can use it. But like I said, it's totally up to what you prefer and what works for your tarantulas. If your tarantulas are living and thriving, then obviously it works. Some other things that I found is, I just wanted to mention it, that way any new tarantula keepers know. I found that makeup brushes or small paint brushes are really do come in handy, just to kind of nudge tarantulas along. They really work. I like the makeup brushes because they are a little bit softer, because they're meant for skin. So they're softer and they're a little bit more flimsy, so they're not going to hurt the tarantula. And you can just kind of nudge the tarantula and get them to move a little bit. I always recommend tongs, especially for tarantulas that would rather bite. That way you can just pick them up. Pick the cockroach up and put the cockroach or cricket or other feeder in the enclosure. They're just good to have around just in case. And just make sure you have your water. Like I said, there's several different methods. I always have a mason jar with a straw and a pipette. I'm not really sure what this is called. It's supposed to hold paint. I just have one of these as well, just in case the tarantula is either on the lid or up near the lid, or I don't feel it's safe trying to open the lid without hurting the tarantula. You can just put it through the little holes. Let's see if I can fit the thing. You just put it through the little holes and put the water in. So some of my tarantulas, you don't want to accidentally throw them off the lid if they're at the top of the lid or things like that. So, and I like to have a variety of feeders as well. So you always just want to make sure you're taking care of your feeders. Garden section for a spray bottle is cheaper than the spray bottles made for reptiles and everything. I don't know how, this was like maybe $2 at Walmart. So, if you guys have any other ideas that you would like me to bring up in my next video, just let me know. If you have something that you'd like me to cover, definitely let me know, or have questions. In the comments below, I do have a question for you guys. I want to know what your favorite tarantula is and why it's your favorite tarantula. I'm just curious. My favorite is the Laciodora parahabana. I really like it because that was my first tarantula. They get bigger and they're very, very pretty, I think. I know they're just pretty much just one color. They seem dull, but they have a lot of personality. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and hit the bell button if you'd like notifications.